Hey there, it's Deb Evans with Deb Evans Consulting, and I'm with my good friend Mary Ann O'Connell from FranWise, and we thought we'd do this lunchtime chat today because IFA has something new coming up that I wanted her to share with us, and it's the Operations Summit. So Mary Ann, tell us about this new summit and, why should we attend and who's going to be speaking?
Well, I'm really excited about it, and I'm very honored that IFA asked me to produce it for them for this inaugural year. If you look back at all the programming in franchising, we have so much that's for development. We have the legal symposium, we have FranTech, everybody had a specialty programming, but not the people in operations. And I found that some of my brands were saying they don't bother to bring their operations people to the convention because there isn't much there for them. IFA had heard that too, and so they've decided to add to the summits that are held on Sunday, one that's on operations. So we are starting this year. It's a 3-hour summit. We're doing it in 3 one-hour segments, and it's all about scaling and building a business for success. So it's starting off in the first hour is talking to anyone can come, but the focus is franchisors who have 0 to 100 franchises. How do you hire? Who do you hire? When do you hire? And we've got great experts on that. Clarissa Bradstock from Any Lab Test Now. David Lewis, who's from Express Personnel. He brings the expertise of a personnel agency, being a franchisee, and being a franchise executive. So I'm very excited that he's on there. And Ash Robinson from Fit for Mom. A lot of people don't know Fit for Mom. It used to be branded as Stroller Strides, but they have hundreds of franchises across the country with people doing great work, and they did it on really being very budget conscious. So she's going to bring that point of view. The second segment, another hour, is going to be about now you have the people in. What do you do for training? How do you train your franchisees? How do you train your employees? And that's going to be hosted by Sandy Craven from Sport Clips and Cordell Riley from Tortle.
Oh, cool.
So that's a great blending of expertise. And then we wrap it up. Oh, I'm sorry, that second segment, you're 100 to 250 units in there. 250 and above, excuse me, is the focus for the third segment, which is what do you do to support and add value for those mature franchises? So if you're at that 300 franchise mark, you've been around for a while, you're breathing pretty rarefied air. There aren't a lot of you who have been there, but your franchisees, they have a completely different set of needs. So I looked at who could we bring in that has a lot of experience with 1 or more brands, lots of franchises. So we have Norm Willardson, who is a senior director at Grey Clips. So they have over 4,000 units, Grey Clips. And Floor Coverings International, Marianne Murphy, who comes out of 2 brands. So you've got the expertise of Floor Coverings International and their whole parent company. And then she also came out of Housemaster with almost 400 franchises. And she was there almost from the beginning. So watching how it grows and how it evolves. And it's not lecture. It's going to be very little presentation from the panelists, but they've all come up with fabulous audience exercises. It's going to be very interactive and walking you through practical steps so that when you walk out the door, you have tools to take back to your franchise system. I have been very fortunate to have this great group of people put it together and take it away from me and say, look, we know what we're doing in our segment. So I'm very, very excited.
That is cool. So now you're going to be moderating some of the sessions, are you not? Along with
Yes, Marcia Mead and Marcia Mead from Outdoor Living Brands and myself will be co-moderators because we have the room set for 100 people. And when you're doing exercises and such, we're going to need people in the audience, and the other panelists will be helping, lending their expertise, answering questions for people while they're doing the exercises, and then we'll do some audience feedback to share ideas.
I love it.
There's no one person in the room who's the smartest one. So we want to get as much knowledge as we can together.
Wow, sounds like a really great engagement and interactive sessions, as you said. So we've got the Operations Summit and lots of other things at IFA. I know you're going to have a booth. Are you
I
not?
Booth 215, come visit. It is, I think it's our 8th or 9th year that we've been exhibiting. I'm a big fan for using the hall effectively as part of your strategy for maximizing your time at the conference. You really should, this is the beginning of the year, people have budgets, they know what their initiatives are. If I was a brand leader, I would right now look at those initiatives and what resources am I going to need, and write a shopping list. And the IFA has their app, so you should download the app now and then star those exhibitors that you think are going to fit the needs that you have in the coming year, and go visit them first, because the hall's huge this year. I mean, absolutely huge, and you could get lost in it, but make time to see the people that you need. And then you can come by us, because you can enter a drawing. We're going to give away a free review of your current manuals. That's a $2,500 value, and come on by and you could enter to win one of those for free.
Cool. Very good. And we're in 2018 already, and I can't believe it, almost the end of the month, or it is the end of the month. And something that I love going to every year, and this year it's in September, is your annual Franchise Capital Exchange. So tell us a little bit about that and why we should calendar, and who should calendar their attendance.
Thank you. Year 7. Oh wow is kind of how I feel about it. Franchise Capital Exchange is a unique event. There really isn't anything like it in franchising. It's very exclusive, and not by meaning snobby, but what we're going to do is, when you want to exit or you want capital investment to fund some of those great initiatives you're thinking of, it's all about who you know. Do you know, most franchisors go out there and in 5 minutes have contact with 10 or 12 of the biggest franchise-centric investment firms? Probably not. And it's all who you know for the exhibit, for the investors also, because they don't know what brands are looking for investment. So private equity is huge in franchising right now. It doesn't mean that you have to sell out. I always remind people that it is still very much a seller's market. And if you don't like the deal that somebody's bringing to you, don't take it. Right. Or ask for something that's a little different. But it's the old idea. You can have 100% of this, or you can have 20% of this. Which one's better? That would have been more effective if I wasn't outside the screen, wouldn't it? So what we're looking for are the CEOs, presidents, CFOs of franchise brands that have a minimum of 20 units. We are looking for them to be royalty self-sufficient. There aren't a lot of brands that at 20 units are there, but talk to me anyway, because sometimes you might have a compelling story that the investors can see a potential in. We are looking for brands that have very strong unit economics, because here's the bottom line. These funds are looking for somebody who said, hey, I've got this really good idea and it does make financial sense. What they need help is taking that good idea and multiplying it. And so if we can make those matches, you don't have to be at the point where you want the money today. You might be looking that it's tomorrow, it's a year out, it's 2 years out. Start now. Start building the relationships. Start getting feedback from the investment community on what do you need to do to make your brand so attractive that you started bidding more on it. That's what I would love to see. So it's only 3 days. The first 2 days are with only the franchisors and our sponsor educators. So in the morning, we're giving you great education on how to become best in class as a franchisor. And it includes everything: operations, marketing, communication, development. And then in the afternoon, you get the chance to practice your pitch in front of the sponsors. Our sponsors are hand selected. They all have experience in this field. And so they're giving you very important feedback and very pointed on how to change your presentation. excuse me, I've got the same cold everybody else does, but you know, most people come in, and you've seen it, Deb, over the years, they come in with a modified version of their franchise sales presentation, and that's not what we're about here. So we also offer, all our sponsors are giving people free coaching from the time they sign up until the day of the event. So the earlier you get in, the more you are going to get out of this, and you really can't even put a price on what that's going to be equal to. But you do that for 2 days. We get education, we practice. And on the third day, there's some educational pieces going on, but everyone is assigned a 15-minute time slot. And they are presenting in front of a room of somewhere between 13 and 18 funds. All of them have different wish lists. They have different specialties, so that we can be broad in what we're offering to the franchisors, and the franchisors are getting a broad base. The investors are getting a broad base of franchise concepts.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that impresses me the most about your event is the confidentiality. So, you know, I want to stress to anybody that's considering this and says, oh, I don't need anybody to know that I'm looking for funds. Nobody will know other than the folks that are in that room, and we've all signed your waivers. We can't breathe a word of this outside of those walls. So, and I know the franchisors have really, really appreciated that.
Thank you for saying that. We take pride in it. It's been why we're probably the best kept secret in franchising, because you can't market it by talking about the great success you've had with these different brands. Some brands are very transparent and they say, we don't care, use us, tell people we were here. But for the most part, we do understand that you can set off a forest fire. Either people think something must be wrong, they want out, they're ditching us, or they're ditching us, that means change, we hate change, or, hey, I thought you went to Chicago to get investment, you didn't come back with 2 gold sacks in your hand, this must be terrible. So if we do all sign, the minute you register, you are signing a confidentiality agreement. And I've got to say, I've been so impressed by the fact that people don't leak the information. So
we don't want Mary Ann after us.
And I don't want brands being hurt. So that's a big part of it. And you get to come as a franchisor. You can bring up to 3 people for $600, one price of $600. I'm sorry about this.
Okay.
The funds come for the same price, and then we only bring in no more than 15 sponsors. We generally keep it around 13 or 14 so that everybody has enough time to pass on their education to the brands. So it's very intimate. It's generally about 75 to 100 people. And I know that the franchise brands that come love it, because we've had several who have come back a couple of times. This year we're trying to bring in a whole new crop, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, it's well organized. The venue's great. Food's always good, but you know, the networking and the education that the franchisors get, and I love watching their pitch when they start.
And when they're done,
then see what, you know, it evolves. It's like, wow, they do an awesome job.
And what I find amazing is there are so many people who shy away from this when we first talk to them about it, because it's outside of their comfort zone and they don't think they know how to do it, or they're ready to do it, or they haven't had some professional evaluator come in and put a price on the business. You're not there yet.
Right.
You're really just seeing if there's interest. And you're also trying to get into this very tight network of funds that is hard to break into. So why not come in? We have all the big names that you've heard about doing these big deals. We have small family funds that come. They're hungry for investments, and they love the franchise model. So seriously, if you fit in those criteria, give us a call. And as you said, Deb, we're a month later than years past. We're no longer going to compete with Labor Day and sending your kids back to school, driving the kids to college. And we're in Chicago. We're in private office space, state-of-the-art conference center. And that is arranged for us with the good help of our friends from Hierology. And then the other thing is we do honor franchising. Our lunches and our breakfasts are all catered by franchise brands.
Yeah. Can't say enough about it. So, Marianne, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to connect with you? I know certainly at IFA, but let's say they want to give you a call and try to schedule a meeting, which I highly recommend people. If you know there's people you want to connect with at IFA, call them now, email them now, get it on the calendar, or you're going to miss out.
Absolutely. You can reach me at 714-434-1516. That's 714-434-1516. That will ring into the office. It'll also ring to my cell phone while I'm at the convention. If you prefer email, the easiest one is info@franwise.net. And it's .net, not .com. So we'd love to hear from you. One other thing I want to say, we've talked a lot about business here and how things can get better with business. Let's do some good, because franchising really does give back.
Oh.
And this year, the Franchising Gives Back program, I don't know if you've realized it. I haven't seen much about it in the material, but I am assured by Gianni at IFA that there is a program. It's going to be on Friday. So if you're interested, I would reach out to IFA and get an application. You do give them a credit card number at first, but it's for a reservation. In case you don't show up, because the space is limited, they will charge your card for the missed reservation. But if you show up, no problem. And it is just I think one of the best parts of the convention these days, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. So I'm going to encourage as many people as can get on board and come and have some great fun. I mean, besides that you're doing good work, I've met some fabulous people doing that.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty dirty over the years doing franchising, digging holes and gardens and painting. And
you say to people, wow, you clean up good. It's the other way. Like, wow, I do tease Aaron Chaitovsky from Citron Cooperman. Like, are you going to wear a tie with the t-shirt? Because he's always so professionally dressed.
Yeah,
And it's hard to recognize him when he shows up for Franchising Gives Back.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, Miss Marianne O'Connell from FranWise and Franchise Capital Exchange, thank you for having this lunchtime chat with me, and I will see you very soon.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.